Musically.
Hello and welcome to Relationship Soup. I'm your host, Lisa Hughes. Happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday. How y'all doing today? How was your weekend? Did you all have a good weekend? Is your week off to a great start? Man, I'm Gucci. God is so good. I feel blessed. All is well because only good can come to me, right? Well, anyway, thank y'all so much for joining me on today. I really appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. And y'all, listen, we are up to the 77th episode. 77 episodes, y'all. So thank y'all so much. I really appreciate y'all. Whether you're watching me live or you're watching us on YouTube, like our little rerun or whatever, thank you so much. You know, I see you, I appreciate you, and I love you. And thank y'all so much for joining. Tell a friend. Y'all share this, tell a friend all that. Y'all know what I'm going to say, right? So anyway, tell a friend, share this. If you are looking at this right now, make sure that you are subscribing and liking across all platforms. Okay. Now, so let me go ahead and get into it. Now, before I get into tonight's episode, which is Chef's Kiss, this is going to be a great episode, y'all. I actually have a panel tonight, and we are going to really get into this. These are some really dynamic souls. So y'all have seen many of these people before, and especially if you're in relationships, you've definitely seen some of these dynamic souls. But anyway, before I get into the 77th episode, y'all, listen. Make sure that you are liking, subscribing across all platforms, y'all, like for real. Now listen, YouTube, it's Relationship Soup. What? Period. You got to put the period. If you don't put that period in there, you're going to be somewhere else, y'all. On Facebook, come and join the conversation. It's Relationship Soup Group. Get on in there. We would love to have you. Now, if you want to follow me, it's Relationship Soup LLC. And of course, we have the greeting cards. You must. We have a greeting cards for all of your needs. So make sure that you are checking out relationshipsoup.com. All right. All right, y'all. So I think that's about it. I do see, I see a couple of y'all comments already. All right. Hi, Michelle. What's up, beautiful? Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. And, continue blessings to you because you have overcome a lot. This is who I was talking about, y'all. This was the Buy a Coffee for Michelle. This is the fundraiser that I talked about. This dynamic queen is here and well, and I will have her on a future episode because we're going to be talking about some things that she has going on or whatever. So anyway, yes. Thank you so much for joining me, beautiful. L Boogie, what's the science? What's going on, L Boogie? Thank you so much for joining me. Yes, we are up to 117 subscribers. Look, hey, go on and hit that. If you are watching this on YouTube, just hit the little subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. Mawanda Woodson, what's the mathematics? How are you, gorgeous? Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you. What's up, fam? I appreciate you for joining me tonight, gorgeous. Can't wait to see you in a couple weeks. What's up, B? Barb Brooks, what's the science? Barb, it's about to go down. I cannot wait to hear what you have to say about this. I am telling you. Dwayne Cobb, excellent show on Saturday. Dwayne, needed them laughs. You hear me? So thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you. Let's get to 200. Yeah, let's get to 200 by the end of the month. Can we do that? Even if y'all got to make up some profiles. I'm just saying. Oh, thank you so much. Kisses and love and light to you. Nikki's in the house. Mrs. Bonner. She was ready, boy. We was texting this morning. Or was it this afternoon? This is going to be good tonight. This episode is about to be habanero. Listen, I'm talking about spicy. Chillaxing as always. That's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. Derek Norris. I know you're going to have some stuff to say, Derek. I cannot wait to see what you have to say. Word like kid, like son. What's up? What's up? What's up, B? Happy belated, happy birthday again. Leo, it's Leo season. Wait a minute. A couple of my guests got birthdays coming up. I love my Leos. TJ Jones, what's the science? Thank you so much for joining me, TJ. Looking forward to what you have to say too, because I'm telling you, this topic, we all touched by this in some way. Or some of us. Let me not say all, because I'm stick to that, not saying all. I'm just saying a lot of us. Listen, this topic gonna go down. Yes, Leo. I'm not gonna say, Derek, really? You're not gonna say nothing? That's how you gonna do me tonight? You're not gonna say nothing? What? That's right. B Brooks is a Leo. It's a whole bunch of Leo energy on this panel tonight. So look, hey, it's gonna be fire. Fire like this topic. You hear me? All right, that's what's up. Yes, Brad, you're very welcome. You're very, very, very welcome. All right, boom. All right, so let's see. All right, boom. I had to make sure I wasn't missing nothing. So look, I've already posted if you want to get in this room. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and post this link again, and then I'm going to go ahead and get into this 77th episode, y'all. 77, right? And you know what's been crazy? All right, so I don't know if y'all believe in angel numbers or whatever, but I've been seeing the number 77, 777, 777. I've been seeing so many sevens, and now we're on the 77th episode, so this is going to be a good one. So, hey, if y'all want to get in this studio, it's a little delay. Boom. Here is the link right here. Just follow all the prompts. That's all you got to do is just follow the prompts and get in this room, all right? Michelle, Unwritten Lines. What's the science? Beautiful. Thank you so much for joining me. We are popping tonight. Terry Butch. What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? Good. Me too. Yes, 777 has been crazy with me. And that's a good thing. I'm looking forward to what the rest of this year is going to bring, because I just feel it in my soul. It's going to be chef's kiss. All right. Now, y'all, okay, now. So this 77th episode is called Swipe at Your Own Risk. Dating apps, gossip, and the quest for safer love. All right. We're basically going to be getting into their gossip apps, but they're classified or categorized as dating apps, right? Y'all know some of the stuff I'm talking about. Oh, but let me do this, y'all. Let me do this, because I said I wanted to do this before every episode, or, when I move to do it. So look, listen. Before we dive into it, I know I keep on saying it. I see my panel. They ready. You should see them. It's like they at the starting line, boy. They ready. But anyway, I just want to take a moment to speak directly to your spirit. So whether you feel like you're winning right now or that you're barely holding on, whether your heart is full or heavy, I see you. I honor you. And I'm sending you so much love and light and so many blessings right now, right where you are. Life is not always easy. Y'all know that. Life be life. And some days we feel like we climbing mountains, we doing a dang thing, and other days we curled up in the valley. But even in the darkest moments, you are not alone. God's got you, right? And so do I. Every time you press play, that is. When you press play, I got you, right? And I got you in my mind, my prayers, right? So this space for you is for you, okay? To grow, to laugh, to cry, to get real, and to be reminded of your work, right? So you are capable, you are chosen, you are not forgotten. So take a deep breath, inhale peace, and exhale pressure. Let that pressure go. Let it go. Let it go. Let God flow. All right. So let this message be a reminder that your story isn't over. And like my daddy used to say, the best is still yet to come. All right, y'all. Let's go. All right. Boom. So last week, y'all, we talked about media, right? We talked about media last week. And we talked about how media shaped our expectations, communication styles, boundaries in love, friendship, family. We talked about the whole gamut last week, right? Now, this week, like I said, we are getting into these dating apps or gossip apps, if you will, right? Um, if you have been anywhere on the news, like paying attention to the news on social media, look, you're probably like, Lisa, what are you talking about? So there are apps out there and there are Facebook groups that basically talk about people and their dating experience, like people that they've dated, right? So, for example, there's this T app, right? Now, the T app basically is talking about, experiences that women have had with men in the past, right? Like, hey, kind of spilling the tea on an ex, right? But don't get it twisted because there is a app for men too. It ain't just women. I can see it now. Some of y'all talking about, yeah, boy, see you be the women. Nah, bruh. Y'all on here. Y'all have apps too, right? So anyway, so what we're going to dive into tonight, what happens when these apps, although the intention is probably good, right? But what happens when they start feeling like Yelp for people? Y'all know Yelp, YELP, right? So from anonymous reviews on Facebook, y'all know them groups, right? Okay. So I want to ask you, is this safety or sacrifice, right? What do you mean? Think about it. So, back in the day, or even now, right? And a lot of us can probably relate to this. Okay, I'm gonna talk to the women for a minute. You know how, hey, you be telling your homegirl she dates somebody or whatever, and it's like, oh yeah, that's such and such. You know what I mean? And so you just kind of exchanging information on what you know, right? So my question is are these apps a good thing? Are these spaces a good thing? Right? What y'all think? Okay. So let me get into it a little bit deeper. So TNT Born, let me give y'all some more background. So basically, T done got in trouble. All right. So if you've been paying attention to the news, they've had a major data breach. Okay. So all these personal information, all because you had to scan your driver's license before getting in. So all this information is out, right? DMs is out, right? Somebody done hacked it, and now it's all out there. And I believe it is if it's California, I believe it's California, where they are like suing Cali, like, oh heck no, for real. Hey, my information out here now. What I didn't talk about, this app is out here, and some women are actually fearing for their safety because they was really, I would assume, spilling tea, right? So anyway, now let me ask you this: have you ever looked up somebody before you dated them? Have you ever even went to one of these sites? Be honest, think about it. Have you got ever went to one of these sites? Okay, I see y'all comments. Let's see here. Oh, okay, hold on. Let's see. Oh, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Thank y'all so much for joining me. I appreciate y'all. Let's see. So Tonelli says, I always see the numbers 1-1. Yeah, absolutely. Earl Evans. Yes, yes, yes. Where is Earl? Where's Earl at? Absolutely. All right, y'all. So anyway, so let me get back to what I was talking about. All right, boom. So anyway, so this data breach happened around or about July 26th, and there's over 72,000 images that have been leaked out here, y'all. So it's a whole bunch of stuff floating around. And so anyway, so it's just real messy right now. Okay. Now let me hit the T-Born app before we get into this whole panel conversation because this is really going to be good. So now, like I said, it's not just the women. Men, y'all be talking too. Y'all got Facebook groups too. Y'all got social media groups. Y'all have y'all little forums and apps too. Now, T-Born, that's the app that was known for men. It's the the male version of T. Okay. So basically, again, men could share anonymously. They talk about women they dated. They share red flags and rate their experiences. But guess what? T-Born really ain't even last long. It didn't last long at all. Because what happened? Somebody's people thought that it would be a good idea to revenge porn, right? So that's why you gotta be careful putting yourself out here, right? Because if it don't go right, then you on somebody's little social media DMs, you on somebody app getting it in. You feel me? But anyway, so revenge porn started circulating. So basically they snatched the app like that. Nope, nope, this ain't gonna work. So anyway, that just really spiraled. It's a whole fool, it's a whole mess. All right. So these are the questions that I want y'all to be thinking about. Do we really want this digital eye for eye culture, right? Is it empowering when it turns into public shaming? Is this empowerment? Is it public shaming, right? And how do we hold people accountable without creating a mess that backfires on the whole community, right? And another thing to think about on these apps too, how do you know when people lying to kick it, right? Because a lot of us have probably broken off or been in a relationship that didn't work out, right? And depending on what happened, what headspace are you in after the breakup, right? Even if it's a day, 2 weeks, a month, a year, what headspace are you in? Can we really trust what people say? Are people really coming with good intentions, right? So even though, say you go to one of these apps or whatever, and it's like, oh, okay, oh yeah, I'm dating this person, all right, or I'm thinking about dating this person, and then 20 other people chime in. How do you know what to trust? Right? Is this a good thing or is it a bad thing? All right, so let's see here. So again, some of the apps that are out there is T. Lulu's no longer active. Y'all remember Don't Date 'Em Girl? Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that? Like that was like what about 10 years or so? Don't Date 'Em Girl. I remember a homegirl had called me up and was like, "Hey, you remember when you used to date such and such?" And I was like, "Yeah, I remember that." Man, he's on Don't Date 'Em Girl, and they going in, and they was going in. Like it was embarrassing. Like I felt embarrassed. You feel me? Like it was a whole fool. So anyway, what I want to do today is I'm going to bring on because I have a good yeah, I'll bring on my panel. And so what we'll do, we'll just kind of discuss and, bring me your questions too. Put it in the chat. What do y'all think? What do y'all think about these gossip/dating apps? Would you use one? Do you feel like they're safe? Do you feel like they're effective? What are you thinking? So Michelle says, I've asked my exes if they knew a guy and was warned, and it was valid because this guy was stalker and crazy. Absolutely. Right? Like, you think you're paying it forward. And especially, what if it's domestic abuse, right? What if you were with an abusive person? What if you were a person that, basically, hey, they wasn't acting right, they wasn't clean, you know, and then some they gave you a disease or something. What would you do? And I actually look, y'all, listen, I when I was researching this because someone actually gave me this topic to talk about, there are apps out there that expose people who ain't clean. Crazy, huh? All right, y'all. So this is what I'm going to do. I have Carl and Nikki and Music Man in the chat. Are all of y'all ready? Y'all ready? All right. So let me go ahead and add these beautiful and dynamic souls to the stage. All right. So we got Carlito. How are you, Carl?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I am Gucci. I can't even look. I can't complain. It ain't gonna be no good no way. Right. All right. So then we have Music Man. Thank you so much for joining me, Music
Hey,
Man.
hey, how's everyone?
Good,
How's it
good,
going?
good. Yes, yes, yes. And then I have Nikki.
Oh,
Nikki in the
Mrs.
building.
Bonner.
It's your lucky day, Carl. It's your lucky day.
So y'all, before we get started, shall we do a toast?
Hey, let's
Got
Oh,
toast.
that's not fair.
Hey,
Nobody
this
told me.
that's all Gucci to
It's beautiful
conversation.
glass. Toast
Hey,
to Leo season.
Leo
yes,
season,
Leo season.
the
Absolutely.
nation, birthday twins in the building.
Birthday
I know.
twins in the building.
What is the coincidence of that? Okay, so Carlito, let's look at this. Right? No, his name is really Carl. I just call him Carl. Okay, Carl. For the sake of the
Let's
show, I'm
go.
gonna call you Carl. All right.
Carlito, I
Carl,
don't care.
what is the coincidence that your best friend shares the same birthday and then your other best friend shares the same birthday as your mom?
And I was born in 77.
See? Seven.
These sevens, you know, this what we do.
The sevens.
7777.
I can't take all the credit. I give some of it to me.
Just like a Leo. Just like a Leo. A Leo gonna take. Listen, a Leo is like, yeah, I want to thank me because I am me for being me, and I want to thank me for being in your world because I'm me.
But you need Snoop hanging in the back when you say that.
And you're welcome.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. All right, y'all. So let's go ahead and get into this thing. All right. So this is what I want to do. So, my first question to y'all. Okay. What are your thoughts about, say, don't date them, girl? Well, I don't, the T app. Y'all know the groups on Facebook, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts about these groups? Just let's start there.
I want to hear from Nikki first. I want to hear from Nikki.
I'm gonna let the lady have it first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ladies
So
first.
here's the
ladies
thing, and this is
first.
what I think about it. Social media is social media. It's for entertainment purposes. There are some instances where you actually, some drama goes down and you see somebody that you know, or usually, at least for me, it's not anybody that I know, but the drama is juicy. And I go down the rabbit hole. So, and the comments after comments, but sometimes you do see somebody you know, but at the end of the day, like for instance, if I were to ever see Carl in one of those groups, I have not.
Yeah, I haven't either, Carl. I ain't synced you in there.
Right, but at the end of the day,
Spell my name backwards, and I'll probably no.
To my knowledge, Carl is a decent dude. But my experience with Carl is not one on a romantic level. So
No.
I don't know. He could be complete garbage. I don't know that.
Trash.
But but
That's wild.
it's just like any other experience. If you meet somebody in the wild, and like you said, somebody says, "Hey, girl, didn't you used to talk to so and so?" And you know what I mean? And you might have heard something about this person. You got to take it for what it's worth and consider the source. You can absolutely tell when there's just somebody who's just bitter versus somebody who's actually giving a, hey, y'all, this is what's what. Yeah. So, and in my experience, especially like in the Facebook groups and in the T app or whatever, not so much in the T app because I don't go in that very much. I forget I have it. But really in the Facebook groups, when it's bitterness, the girls go in on the poster and tear her up. So it's clear, it's visible. Now, I don't know about the T-Born app, but from what I've seen just a little bit like on TikTok, a lot of these dudes are using these posts to go after the dude's girl.
Bam.
Like you posting your girl and it's like, here's the advertisement, go get it. And they're like, good looking out. You say her name.
And I totally agree with you because I downloaded the T-Born app for research purposes and literally like, yo, what's her at? What's this? I'm like, yo, you put your girl out there. Like, don't do that.
Your girl.
He's Mr. Steal Your Girl because he's asking what that ad is on the T-Born app.
What am I allowed to say?
So Carl, let me ask you, what are your thoughts on these apps or these platforms? What are your thoughts?
Apps stand for announcing people's problems. That a lot of times that I hate you, but a lot of times that's what we do. We jump on social media and we hear a one-sided problem. And I think that's the real problem in itself is when we get the information. I had put a post up recently talking about how people tend to you have people that I might have an issue with you. Rather than giving you a chance to rebuttal, I'll block you, then post my whole issue with you. and then push the sympathy button. But I'm only giving people half the information. Nobody's coming back rebuttaling saying, hey, but the reason this happened is for XYZ purpose. And you're not giving people a chance to use their critical thinking skills to say, hey, you know what? When you hear both sides of the story, it's not the same narrative. So it's the same thing to me with these dating apps. You know, when you go on here and you hear about people bashing other people, you're only hearing one side of the story. And I think that right there is the majority of the problem, because there's a lot of people sitting around here with trauma, but we mask trauma. We put makeup on pigs,
It's a pretty pig.
A pig with makeup.
That's not what Nikki said on Facebook.
Pretty pig.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. So, Music Man, what do you think
You ever
about
seen a pig with an overbite?
and an underbite? I just see a pig with an under and an over. No, but for real, I'm sorry. See? All right. So Reese, what do you think about these? What is your opinion about these platforms or these different apps?
So, me, I'm always seeing the silver lining and everything. There's good and bad and all, but let's be honest. A lot of things are going on because people are hurt, and hurt people. So people are always going to project the negative. It's just like a review. People don't do reviews on good stuff oftentimes. So like when you look at comments, that's why you gotta be very careful when you look at reviews or anything, including people, because oftentimes somebody is really good. You're not going to get a lot of like, oh, this person's a great person. But, if a person's a dog or, a hotel, then, you're going to hear a lot about, the negative sides of people or when they, have breakups, and oftentimes those people are trying to get at those people, or they're trying to get the tea on something they already know. And in my projection, and me and Nikki, we agree on this. Oftentimes, people are fighting on people who look like Mr. Burns from The Simpsons anyway. So let's be clear. And
the ugliest creatures I have ever seen.
The ugliest creatures. Me and Nikki agree on that.
I don't see handsome or good-looking dudes on that, especially on the T app.
Really?
So listen, I don't want to hear another man talk about how women only want the 6 feet and good looking. Not according to this Tia. They are going in on some creatures from
facts
somewhere.
Facts. And more so to that is like people date who they are. So they crying about this person trying to get the tea on it. And they're gonna date another dude that look just like that, who got the same, who's doing whatever they complain about. They're gonna continue to attract that similar person. So like, what we doing? You know what he was in for. He had 6
out of my personal life.
Are we playing? Cut it out. Cut it out.
That makes sense. Now, you know what? Now, I am in a few groups, okay? And, okay, so I have seen someone that I knew in one of the, that was posted. But this guy, he is really, 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 really nice. You know what I mean? So, but all the reviews was positive, and he handsome. That was probably the first handsome one I seen.
Yeah, in the groups, I've seen like a couple of, even that's still not really a lot. Most of the dudes that get posted look awful. And it just makes me wonder, like, what made you think that this was going to be a good? He looked like he bite people.
Yo, that's diabolical. But tell me she's lying though. She's not lying.
Look, listen.
He's a killer.
Listen, I be seeing the beauty in most, so. But yeah, it is some sus looking. You be like,
I don't look for it. I don't look for it.
What did you say, Carl?
I don't even look for it.
You don't look for it?
I don't even look for the beauty. And I see you for who you showing me you are. If you a 304,
yo,
major codes.
Oh my goodness.
Your image projects who you are. If you're a 3 or 4, it's gonna project.
Not 3 or 4, 304.
304.
Yeah.
But here's the thing too, and you touched on this too. Like you can have that face card that don't decline, but like I met a few people that's like, oh yeah, you pretty attractive. Then you get a whiff of their body odor, and then it's a different story. You're like, ooh, baby.
Jesus.
baby. Mm-mm.
No,
Mm-mm.
no.
No,
Let's
honey.
see here. So,
And then they try
it
to
says,
blame it on all natural deodorant. Nah, it ain't got nothing to do.
Whole body deodorant. Let's get it right.
Yeah,
y'all
that ain't
are
got
a
nothing
fool.
to do with that.
Whole body,
Thank
take a whole body bath.
Mhm.
just
Well, see, now y'all
Take
found
a
it because
whole
y'all know
bag.
that they got all body deodorant now. So it ain't
Mhm.
just saying.
I mean, I get
Yes,
it.
they do,
but
but you can also just take a bath.
They got all body
Start
water
there.
too. They got all
Soap,
body
Facts.
soap.
water,
It's called a
They
shower.
got
It's called
yeah.
good old exfoliant.
I
It do
cannot.
you
Yeah.
good. It do you real good.
Just take a breath mint on you or something. You got to do something better than what you doing.
Y'all
because
fool. Okay, y'all. So we gonna
I'm
get
on track.
back. We gonna
I'm
get
on track.
back.
I'm on
One
track.
more
Okay,
time.
so Derek says, I used to look for beauty. Now I let them show me. Mark Lee says, what if they are 3? And they even got adult diapers. Listen. So listen. So TJ says, I've been around some musty.
facts. That's what I'm trying to tell TJ.
Okay.
We here.
That ain't.
I'm trying to tell you. Smelling like City Dunk, thinking you a baddie.
I can't.
Hey,
But
Okay, but let's get back to the app. So let me ask
Yeah,
y'all this.
yeah.
So would y'all, okay, so think about your most tumultuous relationship. Okay. Think about a relationship and Carl, I'm still keeping your point in mind. But think about
Yeah.
your most tumultuous relationship, right? And would you post anonymously about that person, say if they were posted in one of these groups? Would you post? Why or why not? Carl, I see you shaking your head. So why do you say no?
Because at the end of the day, once I break up with you, you ain't my business no more.
Mm-hmm.
No
If,
longer my
I mean,
problem.
if we got kids, the kids are my business. But at the end of the day, you're not my problem. You're not my concern. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, I mean, there's some groups out here now. If you hooking up with somebody I know and you carrying something that could be detrimental, and I know you the type of person that you ain't gonna say nothing, then I might be like, hey, bro, that you might want to think that one over again. But I try not to out people because again, you're not my business. In the moment that I start stressing over you, making you my business, then I'll look up and I still got 4 or 5 exes that I'm in their inboxes. I'm making fake profiles to see. I ain't got time to keep up with nobody.
Okay. What about you, Nikki? How you feel?
Absolutely not. Matter of fact, I don't have any exes. I don't know what you're talking about.
What are these exes you speak of?
What is it? What is an ex?
Excalibur. Exes.
No, I mean, I feel like Carl. Once that relationship is over, what you do is no longer my business, unless it's if it's somebody that I know that I care about. No, since you're getting a heads up, but somebody that close to me would have already known. You know what I mean? So it's not my business. And the thing about it is, I had well, I guess she used to be a friend, and she saw one of my exes out, and she calls me and she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go say something," and I said, "No, the hell you're not. For what?"
Mm-hmm.
No, ma'am. I mean, plenty of time had gone by. There was nothing, and I had nothing when I left that relationship. I was done with that person. So,
Okay, that's fair. What about you?
People do it.
Yeah, that makes sense though. That makes a lot of sense. What about you, Music Man? Would you?
So I think that if there's something that's detrimental, whether it's abuse or something where somebody could be passing STD, giving them Carfax, let them know like, hey, I wouldn't do that if I was you. Like, hey, they're abusing or they're passing around that herp or whatever it is. It's like, hey, don't mess with that. So I think it's important. Like if you're a real one, you ain't got to be messy, but just like let people know, like, hey, girl, nah, hey, bro, let that go. You know what I'm saying? So like that's just me being a real one. You know what I'm saying? If I know something that could harm somebody, why would I keep that?
Right.
And then another thing is it shows a lot of self issues, because like I don't care how you try to word it, it still makes it look like you still have some kind of vendetta against that person, or you still harboring some kind of ill will. And like most people, the truth of the matter is when you show somebody that you're harboring that much ill will against somebody, really, it makes a lot of people curious. It's like, what makes this person this bad? And some of this trauma that people are holding on to, what they're not telling is this stuff is from childhood. Oh, he was an ex of mine and I can't stand. Y'all was 12, 13, 14 years old. Y'all was teenagers when this stuff happened.
Hurt my feelings.
Yeah. But people do that. It's like, y'all were kids when this happened. This person is 20 years removed from that situation, and you still tagging him or her with that same problem to the point where you putting them on these apps. And some of these people are not even dating these people. They just want to know who this person is dating. So I'll go on here and put you on here because you know what? I got a baby by you, and I just want to see, what type of women you messing with these days. Yeah. What kind of women you messing with these days, or what kind of men you messing with these days. People nosy.
Well, and along those same lines of exposing themselves, a lot of times what you'll see is, me and him we've been together for this. He keeps cheating on me and he keeps doing that. Sis, that is a you problem. That is a you problem. And you put him on this app or in this group to try to find out who else he might be talking to or lying to. Sis, that is a you problem.
Yeah. And more so, Nikki, I would have that.
Peace.
Yeah. And not to mention cheating piece, but I have that same thought because really it's not about you exposing whether they're cheating. You're just trying to find out who he's cheating with, how many he got, or how many she's cheating with.
Here's the sad part, though.
Yeah.
The sad part is you'll jump and post somebody on this app, and you'll go in on them, and then somebody who's close to you will turn around and have somebody that they're close to and be like, she knew he was like that when he met her.
Facts.
He knew she was doing that when she met her. And now, guess what's going around the gossip mill? They've been like that since day one, but now this person is in their feelings and they crying about it.
And what y'all say is very real because, I've definitely been in, the groups and I've seen that. So that's a pretty interesting viewpoint. Now, Derek says, I wouldn't. What's the point? What would posting somebody say about me? That's fair. That's fair.
Yep.
Terry says, facts. Once it's over, wish them the best and leave them alone. Not my business anymore. TJ Jones says, we live
ain't wishing them the best, though.
I'm going to wish you blessings.
Right.
I ain't wishing you nothing.
I'm wishing whatever you deserve.
I'm keeping my pennies in my pocket. Ain't nothing going into the wishing well over here.
But you know what?
I think me and Lisa.
I don't have to pray for your prosperity.
I wish you away.
Right.
Down now.
Right. I wish you would.
So let's see here. So TJ Jones says, we live in Indy. Everybody is everybody's ex. They still going to date them, so have fun. And then,
hey, I'm telling you. And those apps, people's like, yo, I'm trying to get their at. Even with the dudes, they're like, oh, he got diseases and baby mamas. They was like, what's his at?
Real crabs in that barrel.
Yeah, literally and figuratively. Literally and figuratively. I'm looking at the camera and I say it. That's why you get. That's why people need to really start asking, not what's in your bank account. Let me see on my charts. That's what they really need to be asking.
Man.
And see, and that's the thing, because I'm all for getting information and stuff like that, but you do have to think about the credibility. Like, okay, where are these people? What are their intentions? Especially when you have stuff like My Case and some of the ones that y'all mentioned. Right? Have y'all ever My Case anybody? I'm just curious.
Hell yeah, My Case don't lie.
Hey, listen. That's black and white right there.
It doesn't.
Neither
does my chart.
My chart does not
lie. My chart does not lie. That's facts. Those are the Carfax.
I look myself up.
Those are the Carfax.
What have I really been doing?
You know what? I My Case myself too.
Yeah.
I look myself up too just to see what's out there.
My Case myself. I see my speeding tickets. I don't care.
I know.
I have My Case, and
I'm paying child support.
I'm My Case. a guy that I was dating years ago, and the Carfax came back with current pending domestic violence cases.
Ooh, there
So
you go.
yeah, 3 in total.
Yeah,
Wow.
absolutely.
Pending.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Pending.
So let me ask you this, Nikki. Okay, so all right, so TJ says even if a warning was given, I don't have any information to give them. So listen, now that's
Mhm.
fair. Now, because my thing is, and I think the intention could have been maybe for some of these creators, just from a safety perspective, which we're seeing with these hacks and people, running and telling it, it really ain't no anonymity. Is it really safe? But how there's all these different apps out there. Would y'all maybe post up under a person's post like my case or something? You know what I mean? If you just didn't want to give me any information, y'all just gonna leave it on.
Nope. It ain't my because what happens when this person here's my issue with it is because like sometimes you see the good in people too though, for real. Like even though I said what I said earlier. Sometimes I tell people, look, I talk, write, and think in pencil. I'm entitled to change my mind about how I do things. You know what I'm saying? I can erase. I might not like this person today and gain new information tomorrow that changes my perspective. So what if a person has decided to give their lives to God? What if a person has decided to take on a new leaf and say, you know what, I'm tired of living like this. And this next person that I get with, I'm really going to make this commitment. And then you turn around and you airing out stuff that you think is still valid. At the point this person changes, you know what? We got to start giving people the opportunity to change, or the ability to go past the person they was yesterday. And sometimes we lock people in based off of how we feel, and that person changes, moves on, and we still stuck in the past with them. So I think it's detrimental when you turn around and you try to, build a case against somebody not knowing their current state of mind. I'll leave it at that.
And that's fair. Yeah. I think that's really good information. Like, because people can change. And so who are you to actually put it out there, especially if they do change? But on the flip side of the coin, there's people that's not going to change, and they're going to continue to do them. You know what I mean? Some of them may continue to be abusive and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So, I think you make a really great point, though. What were you going to say, Music Man?
So I also think that you get different versions of people within different relationships. So you may not get the same version of me, with this person, and this person can get a different version out of me because we just connect spiritually differently, and romantically. So like, while you may have had a horrible experience with me, this person may be like, yo, they're the greatest thing, in the world. And it's based on, the genuine connection we have. So not everybody's going to get the same version of you.
And I kind of agree to that to an extent, though, because typically, if you hear like a one-off situation, you take that with a grain of salt.
Facts.
But if you have somebody where they have literally cheated on every single person that they've been with,
that's who you are.
It's walking like a duck and it's quacking like a duck. It is a cheater duck.
Yeah,
so,
facts.
My question is, can you
but at the end of the day, if it's someone that I no longer deal with, it's not in my circle, baby, you got to find that out for yourself.
That makes sense. That makes sense. And Leah says, thank you for joining me, cousin Leah. We appreciate you. People don't change. Mark says, want to say some say those friends are spiritually aligned. Derek says, right, Carl, let people change. Some people have backslid or gave up for not receiving grace. And Lee says, you might just act like that person more. Nah, people don't change. They are who they are. They may act differently with new people. And, that really could be. What point was you going to add, Carl?
Let me say this, too. Here's another thing, though. We have to realize that every individual has two different people in them, though. They got the person that needs you, and, they got the side of them that need you, and then there's a side of them that won't need you at some point, be it finances or whatever. Like, say, for instance, if I'm homeless, everything you say is going to be right if I need your couch to sleep on. But once I get on my feet, that's a different side of me. So, you know, we judge people. We turn around and say, hey, you know what? This person is the greatest person in the world. But then you turn around 5-6 years later, once they done came up, and you wondering why you getting a different version. Like, for real, I tell people all the time, look, I'd rather meet the version of you that don't need me, because that lets me see who I'm really getting. But to say that people don't change, people do change. It's just you have to realize what stage in the game that person is in. Are they in the need stage, or are they accomplished and in the want stage?
Well, to that point, Carl, I think also to pivot off that point, oftentimes people are different versions of themselves because you act a certain way when you need somebody. So when you trying to build up and grow and have that relationship with somebody, you need that dependency and you act a certain way. But when you no longer need them, you go with the person you want. And so people are different versions of themselves when they're with the person they want versus the people they need. So oftentimes you'll see people will actually be connected with somebody they need and they'll pivot off to the one they want. And that's what mail order people.
Now, let me ask y'all this. So with all that being said, right, because these are really great points, do y'all feel that these gossip-based apps actually prevent harm, or do they cause more drama than they solve? What do y'all think?
It's a loaded gun.
Here, let me go ahead and put that back out there. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm a bring it on. So, can gossip-based apps actually prevent harm, or do they cause more drama than they solve?
I would say it's like having a pistol. A pistol can protect you, but at the same time, you can turn around and end somebody's life. And so it's really based, like I said, everything can be used in a manner of peace, or anything can be weaponized. But it's based on the mental state of the person that's using it. So the app itself is harmless because it's an app. But when you turn around and get somebody who, you know, they mama been saying they crazy since they was 4, and you put them on this platform or on this app or whatever, and they're allowed to express themselves, and, you know, nobody comes in and says, hey, you know what? This person has been doing this for some years now. So when it goes unchecked, it's terrible. But I think it's individual based. And there's a lot of people out here right now that need mental, you know, that have mental health issues that just ain't got checked out for it. And they're allowed to just roam free.
That makes sense.
Unchecked, untamed.
That's all the way back.
We're going to start with Nikki.
Whatever. So Mark Lee says, friends of mine, I have seen folks redeem. Derek says, likely both good for some, bad for others. Nah, they just acting different at Mark. All right, y'all. So let's do this.
You know what?
Right?
And I agree, because it's an act. That's what, you know, like what y'all was saying earlier about, you know, they may act a certain way when they need you. That is an act. That's not who they truly are. That is an act. And they're putting on the airs. It's like going to an interview. You're going to act like you're the best person and the best employee ever to get that job because they got something that you need. But that's not who you are.
Absolutely.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a matter of people changing. I think it's a matter of them adapting to the circumstance that they need to serve. It's out of selfishness.
Right.
Yeah. And I think with these applications, you have to use discernment on top of that, because otherwise you go into a mode of paranoia and, you know, you think the world is against you, and, you know, you got to check in, and you just constantly like, oh, what they doing. And you don't build genuine bonds because there's no trust, because you think, you know, everybody is out for the streets. So you got to be honest, you know, and have that discernment. So you got to pray about it, talk about it, because these apps, while they're guides, you still have to have that spiritual GPS in order to navigate through life, you know, with romantic or business and professional relationships.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, it's artificial intelligence. It's still AI from a standpoint. It's artificial intelligence. It's not something that you have naturally or firsthand experience in. It's information that's being fed to you through a stream or a channel that's not you know, that doesn't involve your personal interaction with that person. So still got to be careful AI in
Absolutely.
that sense.
So let's do this, y'all. Let's go ahead and get a couple true false questions in. Let's see here. People can always abuse a well-intended thing. Innocent folks get hit by hurt folks. That's very true, B. Lee says, preach, Nikki, and then that's in apps, but I've seen folks change in real life. Absolutely. So y'all, let's get a couple of these true false in, because this conversation went really fast. We are going to have to do this again. All right, y'all. So I'm going to post this question in the chat, and I will bring it on. Uh-oh, am I frozen?
No.
No, you're not frozen.
Hey, I can't even.
Yes, you can. Yeah.
No, it's not even letting me post my question. That's weird. Hold on. Golly. Can y'all see that question in chat?
No.
No, I cannot.
See, StreamYard, y'all ghetto. I'm gonna put it out there on this recording. StreamYard, y'all ghetto. Y'all know I be posting questions.
What's the question? We'll answer.
Okay, so I'm just gonna read it, y'all. Okay, so true or false? Gossip baits dating apps require proof before going live. Is that true or false? What y'all think?
False.
You said they require what?
Require proof. Like whatever posts, they require proof before it's actually posted.
False.
False.
The answer is false. Y'all sure I ain't frozen? That's weird.
You're not frozen. No, I see you fully moving. Unless you AI.
Okay, yeah. So let's look at this other question so much. All right, so check this out. Because so y'all know the T app they being sued right now, right? So
Yes.
true or false? Men are more likely to sue over false posts than women.
False.
Right.
False. False.
They gonna be funny.
True.
They gonna be
False.
funny. Oh, okay. Okay. StreamYard, y'all heard me. Y'all heard me. 'Cause I couldn't even post. I was about to feel away for real. Like, hey, look, this little money I pay a month. Y'all got
There
your
it
stuff
is.
on time. There it is. True or
There you
false?
go.
Men are more likely to sue over false posts than women.
True.
Okay, so Michelle says true. Okay, y'all think true? All right, so the answer is true. Studies show men are more likely to sue, especially in defamation cases. That's how y'all feel.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually haven't seen any women go for defamation cases. Men have been
I can see that.
have tried to sue for defamation.
Yeah.
or what have
Yeah,
you.
I can.
I mean, but
Yeah.
It's-
at the
Especially,
end of
you
the
know,
day, what I've seen as far as results is, they have to take the post down or something. But it's not necessarily defamation if someone is speaking their experience and speaking their truth.
Yeah.
now I think there's gonna be a big lawsuit with the women with those with leaking addresses and IDs. So I think there's gonna be a few women.
Well, you would think that when I joined, I didn't give my address and information. So that, from my understanding, that was an old issue that got resolved. That was like from over a year ago. There was another, I guess, another data breach, but it was DMs that was accessed. So it was not like personal information. And even with that, they still had like 800,000 women that they were admitting into the group daily.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
I think they were saying that it was over like 6 million. I think they were saying there were over like 6 million members of the T app, I believe.
Yeah,
like over
that's
6
huge.
million.
Yeah, when I just got in it maybe a month or two ago, and I didn't know. I was in one of the Are We Dating the Same Guy groups or whatever, and they said they were moving over to the T app because that group kept getting infiltrated and screenshots and what have you. And the problem with screenshots is when you have someone who you had men that were literally threatening women
Yes.
with
Yes. I've heard of
violence
that.
because they
Yeah.
were sharing their experience, sharing their stories.
Absolutely.
So
But you know what?
That's crazy, but it became a safety issue. So that's why the T app was even formed
Yeah. And
to have a bit more control over who gets in.
But here's another issue that you always gonna have in situations like this is pillow talking. It's so many people running around here pillow talking, and you land there and be like, I heard, and well, such and such said, oh, who said that?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's the same thing. It's
Yeah.
still a breach of data.
It is, but it's not. So I don't know if you've seen it.
Hold on. Hear me out. It's still a breach of data in the sense of I'm still receiving information that, like, even with being in the group and just keeping it 100, just like from the beginning, you know, with y'all being my friends, it's like, Carl, we haven't seen you in any other apps or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's good information to know. But at the same time, it's still me getting information from another source.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas tomorrow I might be all across that mug. You know what I'm saying? It's so the thing is, it's too much information.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
I mean, but at the end of the day, that's literally no different from somebody, you know, gossiping to their homegirls and like, oh yeah, Carl ain't this and Carl ain't that, or
Yeah.
the case is
absolutely.
before, oh, here's a picture of him. This is what he looks like. And,
Same thing.
you know, it's gonna be the same thing. So again, you have to use discernment with the information. But at the end of the day, regardless of what's said, there's no reason to go and perpetuate violence or threaten violence against the woman for sharing her story or sharing her experience.
Absolutely.
I agree with it.
Absolutely. And y'all, we are running short on time. I knew that this conversation was going to be good. So this is what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to take y'all off of here. Thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. And let's figure out if we're going to do a part 2. So I'm going to take y'all off of here real fast. And then I'm going to go ahead and end this. And then let's figure out how we're going to do this. So thank y'all so much for joining me and your perspectives tonight.
Yes.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having me.
Love you, Lisa.
I love you, sis. All right. Stick around, y'all. Stick around. Okay, boom. So was that conversation not deep or what? Right. Mark, you already know. I'm very hungry. Look, you know what it is on a Tuesday. Janet Jackson faced a new defamation suit. Absolutely. Absolutely. Good, great conversation, y'all. Y'all know I really appreciate y'all. Thank you so much to Carl, Music Man, Nikki, so much for their perspective and being willing to come on tonight. So what we're seeing is, like, what's the real tea? Gossip apps have opened a portal that we can't even close at this point, right? I mean, it merges truth telling with digital dragging, because sometimes that does happen, right? And then protection with exposure, right? But at the end of the day, what I really love is you have to use discernment. I love what Nikki said about using discernment, and I love what everybody said when it comes to these apps. You know, it's always a case by case, and you just got to really decide, is this going to work for me? You know, and so, you know, whether you've been posted about, you know, or you just reading threads, you deserve a dating life grounded in truth and not trauma, because sometimes these apps, these conversations can cause more stress and more trauma. Right. So you have to, you know, protect your eye gates and your ear gates, and you have to decide what's going to make sense while you are out here dating. Right. So, you know, again, I know there's systems back in the day where, you know, hey, everybody knew everybody people. And I remember talking to my mama, you know, hey, you know, back in the day when we would be dating, you know, such and such would know such and such grandmama and all that. So, but now it's just like, it happens. But maybe not so much in some situations. So you really have to practice discernment, y'all. So anyway, thank you all so much for joining me. Oh my goodness, this was really great conversation. We're going to really figure out this this part 2, because I think there's still so much more that needs to be said. So you know, I like to end with an affirmation before I give my shout outs and end. The affirmation I have today is, let me go ahead and put this in the chat. Hopefully I can post, because I sure wasn't able to post. And I was like, I didn't pay my whole little money for the month. So this is the affirmation for today. I'm grounded by wisdom, not woundedness. My boundaries are sacred and my voice is powerful. All right. So that's on both platforms. Hopefully that resonates with you. So anyway, thank you all so much for joining me tonight. Shout out to my mama. You know, she didn't even ask me this week. She already knew I was going. Because I had already told her I beat her to the punch anyway. You know, I want to thank the Grishams. I'm looking so forward to meeting you all really soon. My Aunt Anna, my viewers. So again, if today's episode resonated with you, please share it. Share it across all platforms. Y'all know what I'm saying, right? Make sure that you're liking, sharing it with a friend across all platforms. On YouTube, it's Relationship Soup, period. You got to put the period in there. If you don't put the period, you're going to be somewhere else, right? On Facebook, it's Relationship Soup Group, right? If you want to follow me, it's Relationship Soup LLC. And then for the greeting cards, it's relationshipsoup.com, right? And so, my words for tonight until we meet next time, you got to love yourself and live as aligned as you can, right? Just love yourself and live as aligned as you can. And until we meet again, peace.